weird writing.
Hello friends, Zoe Miki. I had been meaning to do this for a while, regarding the Latin in Silent Hill 3, because it's used sort of as a spell, and it's very short, so I figured we could look at the video clip from the game, which is a cutscene, and it's sort of, you see a monster blocking a door, and you go into another space, and you read a book, and Heather says,
Tu fui ego eris.
Tu fui ego eris. And, you know, I won't say anything about Heather Morris's pronunciation, the actress. She was hired as an English-speaking voice actress. Ego is the English pronunciation. So this is a shortened version of things that show up all over tombs and gravestones and memento mori type of art, Venetos types of art, also sort of related to things, to phrases like carpe diem, seize the day, tempus fugit, time flies. There's a whole genre of ubi sunt, you know, poetry, with the general meaning of where are all these people now that, you know, have come before and were famous or wealthy or powerful in the past, and now have returned to dust and such. So tu fui ego eris, maybe if you're paying by the letter, you know, for someone to carve that, you'd want a shortened version, but there are also versions such as quod tu es ego fui, quod nunc sum et tu eris. What you are, I used to be what you are, and you will be what I am now. And this is accompanied by a picture of death or a skull or some kind of deathly figure. Ovidius, Ovid, wrote, id quod fuimus aut sumus, non cras erimus, being basically, tomorrow we will not be what we are now or used to be. Another one that's found on gravestone is erim quod es, eris quod sum. Same basic meaning there. A longer version would be viator, quod tu es, ego fui, quod nunc sum, et tu eris. Found an Italian version of the same here. I won't butcher it. There's also German art. Mensch, was du bist, bin ich gewesen, und was ich bin, wirst du auch werden. Buddhism also has a practice of death meditation, and of course Hamlet. This is Iorcus Secundus. The whole scene with Hamlet and Yorick's skull is meant to be that, you know, Yorick was a lively and funny guy in Hamlet's youth, and now he's this gross, dead thing. Alas, poor Yorick! Horatio, I knew him well, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times, and now how abhorred in my imagination it is! My gorge rises at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed I know not how oft. Where be your jibes now, your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment, that were wont to set the table on a roar? And this also goes back to sort of the ubi sunt poetry. And it was also used by the Stoics. With Seneca, one of the Seneca texts in here is on the shortness of life, where the general meaning is about the same. Not like in a sad goth way exactly, you know, stereotypical. It's more like we should think of deaths so that we live well. And Marcus Aurelius would say something like, you know, imagine you were dead right now, and, you know, now you should pick up and start living your life properly, now that you've imagined yourself as already dead. Of course, the translations are all very different because it was in Greek and often flowery language. So the idea of the Stoics was you should remember death so that you will live more in the present and stop procrastinating. This also goes back to the Latin phrase acta non verba, actions rather than words. So Marcus Aurelius said something like, waste no more time arguing over what a good man should be one. You should show your philosophy through your actions rather than just talk about it a lot. There's also a lot of religious texts, and this was meant as, you know, a reminder to live a good life now rather than wait a good moral life. Anthropologist Ernest Becker wrote at length on death awareness in his book The Denial of Death, and Sheldon Solomon, Jeff Greenberg, and I forget the other guy's last name, sorry, expanded on his ideas and did some research on it in their book called The Worm at the Core. Again, sort of on death denial and how this death anxiety may impact people to behave in bad ways and many times. And I suppose the Stoics would say that they're not properly meditating on it. The people, who are acting out because of their death anxiety or fear of other cultures or what have you. There are also some Sanskrit texts, which I cannot read, but are apparently related. Buddha was said to have said, of all the footprints, that of the elephant is supreme. Similarly, of all mindfulness meditation, that on death is supreme. In Islam, there are also many such references. In the Quran, it says something to the effect, the death you are running away from will inevitably come to you. And then just the idea of being judged in the afterlife, but the emphasis is still on leading a moral life. And there's also Tazkirat al-Maut, related to the Arabic word for memorandum and death. So it is also a major topic in Islam. The hadiths talk about remember often death, the destroyer of pleasures. Similar items in Icelandic, which I can't read at all and won't try. There are also references in modern writing and art and such, and I would mention Damien Hirst's skull called For the Love of God, which is a skull covered in 8,000 diamonds. Though a lot of his stuff probably would count with the dead animals sliced up in I don't know if it's resin or what the heck it is. So anyway, all of it's related to Memento Mori art as well. So it was fun seeing this used in the Silent Hill series, I thought. And other than that, I suppose I've been caught up too much with my work in German, so I haven't been able to make very many videos. Terrible project, German taxes. The less I say about that, the better. I've also been working on learning Arabic, so maybe I'll make a Latin blog about learning Arabic in the future. And of course, Yorkis Tertius. He's right behind me, isn't he? I have this little guy too. I got him at a dollar store. But anyway, well, Miki. We'll try to get some more stuff up soon.